Hi, friends. It's Sheila. Welcome to my second episode of my breast cancer testimony. I will be sharing with you over the course of the next few Saturdays, hopefully for the entire month of September, maybe leading into October, just depending on how far we get. I am trying to make these very short and sweet as I have a very busy and hectic life. I want to get a few things out of the way. My nails right now look really bad. I have been very busy today in my kitchen, which I am literally trying to hide from you all because I don't want you all to see the mess. But if you are a subscriber to my channel, you know that recently my husband and I suffered some water damage in our storage unit. I had to bring a lot of my things here to the house where I needed to wash them and clean them, all the things. Literally just go through a few things to figure out what we were going to get rid of as we are going to downsize our storage unit. But that's another whole vlog that you will see coming up at some point or another. A little bit embarrassed by doing this video this way. In all honesty, every moment I have is precious and sacred as I share my home with my husband. He's at work right now. I needed to get this video recorded before he gets home. I don't have time to do these nails at this point. We're just going to have to go with it. Also, the hair, yes, it's looking a little wild. It's probably looking quite frizzy right now. I did just wash it this morning and I washed my hair. I like to let it air dry. I let it air dry basically with nothing in it. You all are getting a little bit of a raw and real me, but if you follow my channel, and by the way, if you are not a subscriber of my channel, please take the time right now to hit that subscribe button and also turn on the notifications so that you will not miss any of my uploads. If you're coming to me for the first time through my testimony episodes, I am a very realistic person, hence why my channel is called Real Life with Sheila. You see me in the raw most of the time. As we go through today's video, I am going to be sipping on some mango passion juice in my South Carolina mug that was gifted to me from a subscriber. Thank you very much. You know who you are. I do have a few notes here and I am going to try to follow them. However, I will say that I am very much a talk off the cuff person. Sometimes I may drift off into Never Never Land. In my first episode, I gave you a little bit of background story on me. I talked about how my faith was as a child, leading up to going through my divorce, how I lost my faith, and now we are well on into being divorced and living the life of a single mother. I spent about 10 years as a single mom. I was very blessed in that God always provided for me. I did share with you all one of the blessings that God provided for me as I was a single mom. And I do have several more of those that you all have asked that I would share. I think I will share in another video, maybe like kind of do a video of its own. I do want these episodes to be leading into how God got me where I am today, how he really showed up in my life. Make sure you thumbs up this video if you are interested in me sharing those other moments with you all. I will be happy to share them. The course of about 10 years of being divorced, a single mom, I ended up meeting, which is now my current husband, and you all have seen him on my channel. As my husband and I are so different in that I am a very structured person, and one might say, and I say it because to me it seems that way, he is much more of a fly by the seat of your pants kind of guy. You will hear me share with you how he was pushing me one way, and my fear of the unknown was holding me from going in that direction. From early on in our marriage, I watched him just make decisions about his career field that just blew me away because I could never be that person. Very recently, I was having a conversation with someone. I realized for the first time, and we were talking about how God performs so many miracles in our lives and how God is always showing up, even when we don't know or understand why or can't see, quote unquote, the light at the end of the tunnel. I did not realize that one of the reasons why it was so hard for me to walk away from a career field that I had was because it was my security blanket. I said that to the homeowner. And as I said it, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to share this on my channel because for the first time, I realized that yes, my job that I had worked so hard from basically a peon position, starting out at the very bottom, and I had worked myself to pretty high up on the ladder. Because of that, it had given me the life that I'd had. I went from having literally $150 to tie me over for the entire month, to now I was living comfortable. I was able to give my 16-year-old son my car and buy myself a new car. And that's another testimony that's going to go along with how God was just showing out in my life. I was now living a comfortable life. And now that I was married, it was even more comfortable because I had the help of a second income. But I still was afraid and not willing to let go of something that I had worked so hard for. I worked in a job that while I was trying to climb up the ladder, I was fortunate enough to have a boss or several bosses actually that saw that I was a dedicated person. They were a big role in how I was able to maintain that job as a single mom. I was able to take my son to work when he was sick. I had a break room upstairs so that I could be at work. What job allows you to do that? That had to be God. I knew it was God. But again, there were days that I honestly didn't want to give him the credit because I still sometimes felt a little neglected because that job gave me so much security. It allowed me to work as a single mom in ways that most jobs would not have. My door open, so there's a bird outside that just really chirping his little heart out. So I hope that's not bothering you all, but I truly love nature. With the title that I had, it was a lot of stress, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot was happening in my career field. I would come home sometimes just completely stressed out. And again, my husband had this carefree type of job and he was in sales, and sales is just a whole different ball game. Like, our career fields were literally opposite of each other. Come home sometime just complaining and saying how tired I was. And he would always say, "You're that tired of your job or you don't like your job, just quit it. Do something different." Literally would look at him and think, "How dare you say that to me? This job has given me everything." And so I went back and forth and not really wanting to let go, but wanting to let go of the career field. I had a conversation with one of my clients. We had built quite a great relationship with each other. He needed someone to run his office, and I was somewhat looking for a new job myself, even though I didn't really want to admit it. I remember coming home and telling my husband about it. Everything to him was so just do it. You don't like your job. You're tired. You're burnt out. You've been doing the same thing forever. You're giving to them way more than they're giving back to you. You need to just walk away. One day I was sitting at my desk and I looked out the window, just hung up from corporate office, and they were making some crazy demands and saying some crazy things. And I literally had tears in my eyes. And I said, I just wish I knew how to walk away because I'm so afraid and I don't know what is on the other side. I said, "God, if you hear me right now, I need your help. Help me to make the right decision." Shortly after that, the client walked in my office. "I'm going to offer you X amount of dollars if you come work for me, but I need to know an answer ASAP." I walked away from a career field. I walked away from a company that I had been working for, I believe, almost 11 years, 11 or 12 years, somewhere in there. I know it'd been quite a while. And I was now taking a chance to go work for one of my clients who owned a construction job, so different from anything that I knew. I was going to be running the office. It felt like it couldn't be that different from me running the branches that I ran in my company. I started to notice that the person that I was working for wasn't exactly what I thought he was. I saw him mistreat some of the employees. I saw him doing things with other companies that I just didn't align with. Actually, every Monday when I would go to work, my boss would ask us all in the office. He would say, "Did you go to church on Sunday?" Didn't really respond because I didn't really feel that it was anybody's business whether or not I went to church. That is something that I felt was very personal between me and God. He would always brag on how he went to church on Sunday. I was feeling inside was that you're talking about how you went to church on Sunday, but I'm sitting here listening to you lie to other companies. I'm sitting here listening to you or watching you mistreat your employees. I'm not really feeling like you a God-fearing man. He and I ended up having the conversation that we needed to agree to disagree when he blatantly asked me or commented to me that I was too honest. And I said, "Yes, I am." Made an agreement to disagree. I walked away from the company. This was a very scary time for me because I had left my career field. Now I am jobless, really jobless. Like, I have nowhere to go. I was so afraid. And again, I had this husband that was carefree. He was like, "Well, you'll be fine. Why don't you try temping for a little bit? And that way you can get grasp on what other jobs have to offer." And I found myself somewhat questioning God's plan for me. Why would you allow me to walk away from a career field that was clearly my security blanket to walk into a company that was paying me a great salary, more than I was working in my career field, showing me this side of the world only to take it away from me? I wanted to go back to my career field because I felt that would be the safest route for me. My husband convinced me to just give this temp agency a try. And I did. I went to work at a temp agency. I went to work at this temp agency that gave me a few job assignments that I really, really enjoyed. But through those job assignments, I realized that those were not jobs for me until I ended up getting offered the job at a university as a temp for what was told to me would be about 6 to 8 weeks during the summer months to help get the office ready for the students coming in for the new school year. Me inside of a university, who would ever think that I would be setting my foot inside of a university? That's another whole part of this testimony that we will get into in episode 3. That concludes episode 2. I look forward to seeing you in episode 3, Saturday, a week from today. Ask if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so now. Turn on your notifications if you haven't already. Look forward to seeing you in the very next video.